Hey, what's up, team? This is Eddie Gray broadcasting live from LA. This is the last video of the series. I cannot believe that we have been doing this since January 2nd, and today it is May 1st. Tomorrow it'll be the second when I post this. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody that's been supporting this. Believe me, it was not easy to be consistent 6 days a week for 4 or 5 months. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. Appreciate all the support, super chats, by way of comments. Just thank you so much to all the community for supporting the cause. I know you see the value in this, and this is going to help a lot of individuals. And I want to talk to you about something that I really feel is going to help Logic users all over the world. And it's the new training that we're putting out, kind of Logic Pro Bootcamp. It's going to be 10 free courses that is going to allow you to finally master this program in such a way where you feel comfortable, where you can troubleshoot most issues. While no program is going to be inherently perfect, the one that I have developed along with my team in the last couple of weeks is bar none the best in the industry. I wish I had something like this a couple of years ago when I first started, but because there was a gap, I decided to just fill in the gaps and do something about it. So in this particular series, you're going to find, again, 10 free courses. And in these 10 free courses, you're going to learn about solo functions, navigating the workspace, scrolling and zooming. After you're done watching it, you will be well equipped and you too will become a Logic Pro power user. I want you to envision this just for a second. You're working every single day of your life. You have no problems with the program. You know how to troubleshoot something when it comes up. I want you to listen and hear the kind of music that you're going to be making, because there's no impediments, there's no hindrances. Every day is just another day of productivity. I want you to feel the progress that you're going to make. And when you feel the progress you're going to make, you know this is going to be the very best decision that you make. We're taking early registrations right now. If you want to be a part of this, 10 free courses, email support@hfmusicacademy.com. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off early and just say a big thank you. And let's go ahead and finish off with controller assignments in expert view. So in the last series, we talked about assigning controller assignments with easy view. There's really nothing to it. You hit Command L, and then we learned the trick that if you continue holding Command, then you go ahead and change the parameter that you want to assign to the rotary knob, the slider, or the on and off switch. And then when you let go of Command, what ends up happening is that the program knows that you want to also get out of learn mode. And so that's a great workflow there. So let's read a little bit more on using controller assignments in expert view. You can use expert view to make advanced controller assignments. These include Logic Pro parameters other than channel strip and plugin parameters. For example, you can assign controllers to global, automation, control surface group parameters in expert view. That's probably worthy of highlighting. You can also edit controller assignments in expert view and define zones and modes that let you switch between groups of controllers. So to me, when I think about expert view, I really think about the two main parts of this specific controller assignment list are zones and modes. And if you understand those, this is, I think, how anyone can understand this part of the program in a very, very kind of fluid and open way. The learn process opens the controller assignment window in easy view. So if we hit Command L, controller assignment window will come up in easy view. It's going to show you all the basic parameters for the current assignment. To make assignments other than channel strip or plugin assignments, or to edit other assignment parameters, you need to switch to expert. Okay, so that right there is huge, because if all you do is create assignments by channel strip or by plugin, then really you don't need to use expert view. That's what it's kind of saying, right? It says here also, or to edit other assignment parameters. So as soon as you make that transition, soon as you go away from channel strip or plugin assignments, then you need to start using expert view. So this is not going to pertain to everybody, but let's see if there's a gem here for you. Let's see if there's something that we can garner from this section. So again, on the far left, zone, on in the middle there, mode list, and then the actual control and parameter list that you are affecting. And then on the right hand side, looks like we have a bunch of different things here. So let's read about zone list. Displays available zones for the device. The no zone entry is for zoneless assignments. These are always going to be active regardless of the active zone. Why is this important? Well, if you want play to always play back, then you should have this in the no zone mode, right? It makes sense because it'll always be active regardless of which zone you choose. Select a zone in the list to see associated modes and current assignments for those modes. You can also double click a zone to rename it. Let's talk about modes now. So we know what the zones are for. What are modes for? Displays modes for the currently selected zone. The no mode entry is for modeless assignments. Select a mode in the list to see corresponding assignments in the control parameter list and to make it the active mode for the selected zone. You can also double click to rename it. As mentioned before, there's a control parameter list in the middle here. And here we are going to select the assignment that we would like to edit. Left column displays the name of the control. Right column displays the abbreviated name of the parameter. The parameters of the selected assignment appear in the fields to the right of the list. You can select multiple assignments in the list, but only the parameters of the first selected assignment are displayed. When multiple assignments are selected, operations performed via the edit menu can be applied to all selected assignments. All other operations apply only to the first assignment. Let's carry on. Controller assignment parameter area. That would be the first of the 4 sections. All aspects of the selected controller assignment are shown and can be changed in this area. Check. Input messages area. The port and MIDI input messages can be altered directly. So where it's going in, where it's coming from. Some fields in this section are displays only and cannot be changed. Thank you for the heads up. Would be nice to know which ones, but either way. Value area. The range of values and response of the controller assignments to incoming messages is set to this area. Feedback to the display of control services can also be determined here. So if you would like to access expert view, it's not going to happen this way because we know Command K opens up the musical typing keyboard. Again, this needs to be updated. Let's see here. This section outlines each parameter shown in the field. So now we're going to go over, we did kind of an overview. We're going to go over every single section and what it is, what it does. All right, so for the controller assignment parameter section, we're going to display the name of the controller for supported devices or learned for unsupported devices. In the label field right below that, displays characters that represent the label for the assignment on the control surface display. All right, the flip group field, enter an integer to define a flip group for the assignment. Does anybody know what a flip group is? They can't just throw that without a definition. I need more information. Class. Choose the class of parameter. Parameter type. I would assume this means like slider, things of that nature. Let's see if we can get this to pop here. So we're going to go Command L. We're in expert view now. And let's pretend, hold on. Let me get out of learn mode. Learn that lesson. If I go to easy, okay, an expert. So let's pretend we're here. And here's input. There's parameter. There's bank. Where is class? I also wonder if this pertains. Yeah, I guess it just there's class right there. Mode change, global, channel strip. Is this a key command? All right. Parameter mode. So that would be right there. Session user. This is a lot of information. How do we grasp this and how do we know what it all does? Different field. Yeah, so depending on which mode you choose, I'm sorry, depending on which class you choose, the modes are going to differ. All right, good. Bank, we're not seeing any of that simply because of what I'm using. Let's move on to input message parameters. So if we click on that, we're seeing all of my controllers that are available in my system. What about value change? This displays the incoming MIDI message that causes a value change. See here. So for example, here I'm hitting, and this is, bear in mind, if you were watching the last session, I have a Launch Control XL connected via USB into the computer. And if I hit here, bus number 1, I click on it one time over, I go into learn mode, and then I turn a dial. We can see that that's now being controlled. So because I used this specific parameter, now we're seeing that this is part of a channel strip. We're seeing that the fader bank works best for this. Wait, it looks like they switched it on me, didn't they? It's not controlling it anymore. Why not? Hold on. I'm going to keep switching and see if maybe this was a hijack. What happened? I was working perfectly. Okay, we're going to learn it again. Here we go. So we're going to click on the parameter, Command L, and then I turn the rotary knob. Okay, it's working now. Channel strip. It's reassign. Okay, so now it's working for some reason. So yeah, channel strip, selected track, and the value change is B8. And not sure what this other stuff is. I don't know if this is SysX data or what it is. But anyway, you can see that I'm controlling that rotary knob with that controller. Okay, so touch release field. So let's see, do I have that here somewhere? Touch release. If you enter an integer to force incoming MIDI messages to change the touch release state, it applies only to control surfaces with touch sensitive controls. All right, so I don't have that. So good to know. Value parameters. What do we got here? Okay, so I don't have this in my section here. Oh, wait a minute, is this down here somewhere? Yeah, I think it's right here. I could be wrong. I showed an example of this last time around, how if I select a value from like 0 to 50, the channel strip only kind of goes up a certain amount because there's a limitation to it. Format, pop-up menu. Okay, yeah, so it looks like we've transitioned all the way down to this part of the program. Here, let me just make a couple changes here. Whoa, what happened? Okay, good. And multiply. What's this for? Enter value to scale incoming MIDI values. Don't know what that means. Mode. Choose the mode. So let's look at a couple of these. Scaled. Toggle. So scale is good if you're turning a rotary knob, but what if you're just trying to turn something on and off? Like this time, what I'll do is I'll hit I'll click on mute, right, on the channel strip, and I'll hit Command L. I'm still holding Command while I hit an on and off switch or a MIDI note, and then now every time I click on it, you can see that I'm muting and then I'm not. But what works for that specific, so now I'm muting and now I'm not. What works for that, look at the parameters, how they switched over, right? So now we're back at scaled, but wouldn't this work better if I was at toggle? And I wonder how this is affecting it. So also work it. I think maybe I could change this as well. Maybe this is a key command, or let's see if any of this works. It seems like it's pretty turnkey and you don't need to touch a lot of it. In fact, every single time I have touched something, I've completely messed up the flow. Now it seems to not even be in existence. Why is that? Yeah, it seems like it completely was written off now. So for what it's worth, it's certainly not that easy to play with the parameters. But once you actually do try and set them up, it's really easy. I mean, again, learn mode. click on the parameter and then click on the assignment, and you're good to go. I mean, look how easy that was. But again, this is just toggling. What if I want a fixed mute, right? What would I have to do in order to assure that this locks in? So what do I have to change? Mode, perhaps? What needs to happen? Because this is still not working. So anyway, if some of you have some information, that would be great. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, well now it's just fixed. I went to relative mode and just literally stopped. Okay, this is cool. Rotate. So with rotate, if I click one time over, the note is muted, or the channel strip is muted, as you can see right here, bottom left. Then I click one more time, and then it seems to be good to go. If you had this set to direct, I have to hold the MIDI event in order to mute this. So that wouldn't really make sense, right? So there is something here for us in terms of having more control. So play with mode under value. What else? Still not sure what multiply does, but what does feedback give me? Display format of the parameter value on the control surface display. Look, in my case, I don't have an LCD screen on here. There's no screen, so that doesn't really pertain to me. But if you have something, you might want to use the feedback parameter here. All right, let's keep going. If you want to assign and delete controllers in Expert View, you can use the learn process as we have been talking about. You can also assign controllers to classes of parameters that are not accessible in Easy View. The procedure for reassigning an active controller, an assigned controller in the active mode, is different from that of an inactive controller. So if you have an active controller, different procedure, different workflow than if you have something that is not necessarily currently active. All right, we're going to learn a controller for a non-channel strip. So we're not talking about mute. We're not talking about volume fader. We're not talking about low cut, high cut, attack on a compressor, what have you. We're now moving into something else. So let's give it a shot. Choose a zone or mode unless you want to make a modeless assignment. Zone or mode. So I wish we had a deeper tutorial even on this, to be honest. But if I have to choose a zone, I'll call it test, I suppose. And then within this mode, let's see what we can do here. I'll hit plus one time over, and then I guess we're going to make some decisions here. I'll call this test control. Okay, so we're going to click learn mode as we usually would. Then we're going to move the controller that we want to assign to the selected parameter. But which parameter are we talking about? Moving the controller is going to send the MIDI message to Logic Pro that's teaching Logic Pro that you're controlling that specific assignment. The learn mode button remains active, allowing you to make further assignments. You should probably turn that off. The incoming MIDI message appears in the input message field. Choose the class of parameter you want to assign from the class pop-up menu. Hold on. Class. Okay. So I guess what are we trying to do? Can I try a key command? Should we give that a spin? Let's try it. Okay. So key command, record. Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. Okay, cool. You know what? Let's just let's try record. All right, that's that. And I'm assuming from here we are good to go, my friends. I'm not sure if that's the protocol, but why don't we just try it? All right. So learn mode. All right. So wait a minute. This says mute though. Oh wait. Okay, we're gonna try it. You ready? Here we go. Oh no, it's just muting. It's just muting. Oh, but wait a minute. Hold on. What's this doing? Okay. So first attempt did not work. We're gonna try this again. Test control. I'm gonna go back to not global commands. So we got key commands, and then we were trying to set up record, and then something happened. Let me try kind of moving down, and let's follow instructions. All right, let's just follow the instructions here. So, move the controller that you want to assign, then choose the class parameter you want to assign from the class pop-up menu. Okay. So I think from the class, yep, it's a key command. Okay, record. Click the learn mode to complete the learn process. I don't think that nope, I don't think it happened. So some kind of disconnect here. I wish I could get this. Be nice to be able to just, going back to what I was saying earlier, probably has something to do with mode. I'll try, but it just seems like it's controlling mute and not record, which was my original intention. But that, in all fairness, is probably just due to the fact that I didn't assign it before, but it didn't say to do that with this specific lesson. So just trying to see if there's something else here. Here, let's just delete both of these, okay? And then we'll add something here, and we'll just call this, okay? So then it says to hit learn, hit the parameter, okay. But for some reason, it keeps formatting to mute. Why is that? And also, how do I change that? Like where, you see, like, where is this determined? Because I would like it to control record. That's the parameter. Let me reassign. Hold on. Just keep both. Okay. So I just tried the old school way. Seems to work a little bit better, but I'm having a conflict because right now this key command is, there's a block somehow. I need to figure out what's causing. Oh, there it goes. I changed it to Huey and now it's recording in effect. Where's the playhead? But yeah, it's working. So this is a good sign. Yeah. Success. I love it. So not intuitive in any sense of the word, but it's there. And if you push enough buttons, I believe that you will certainly get there. I was hoping this would have worked where I could have learned the assignment first and then somehow designate the or assign the assignment and then learn the specific parameter, but seemed like it was a little backwards. I do like the old methodology a little bit better. Let's go to deleting an assignment. I basically selected them and then just hit delete. To reassign, it looks like you can choose one of the options that are, oh, right, because sometimes you're going to have to reassign or keep both assignments. If you keep both, it's going to retain the new and the old assignments, generally used when one knob controls multiple parameters as a macro. Okay, so that's actually a good piece of advice. It's like, hey, if you're going to use that one knob for macro control, what do I mean by macro? I'm simultaneously bringing up the volume, but also low cutting at the same time, right? That would be a macro. If you want to reassign, it's going to delete all existing active assignments for that parameter. And this is probably a good idea to use to reassign a function key such as F1 to F8 to a new key command. So that is good. How do I reassign an inactive controller? So supported control surfaces are generally going to have empty user pages, allowing for new encoder assignments. You would select a particular user page, then learn an assignment for the encoder. Okay, wow, this is cool. My question is, where do you select that user page? Is it within the hardware, the controller, or is it within the software? Because I don't see any language for page mode, user page mode. Like, I don't see anything like that here, which makes me believe that they're referring to a user template, a user workspace, but still, I haven't corroborated that yet. Logic Pro used the learn process to assign a controller in an inactive mode. The new assignment becomes part of the active mode in the same zone that contains the previous inactive assignments. All right, let's carry on. We can define a group of controllers as a zone in expert view and switch all controls in that zone to different parameters. Using a Mackie control, for example, you can define the 8 rotary encoders as a zone and switch them between. Okay. So hold on. If you have a Mackie control, you could define the 8 rotary encoders as one zone and then switch between pan, send, and plugin parameters. So that even though you're using 8 rotary encoders, it really becomes 24 rotary encoders if you're able to use zones, right? Because you have to switch between them. You can also define the multiple zones for a control surface, one zone for the encoders, a second zone that switches the function keys, etc., etc. So the zones here determine what we're focusing on. Assignments created by Lua scripts are created within a separate top level, right? We talked about that several times. Always active. Each set of zone parameters is called a mode. Okay. Good language here to remember. To master this part of the program, a zone can contain one or more modes, but only one mode can be active at any given time. So that's actually, I think, a gem. Think about it. Say, hey, you can have a bunch of zones, but only one mode can be active at any given time. Let's say you know that when you edit vocals, you're going to need to use XYZ. So you just switch into a new mode that allows you to use the particular plugins, channel script configurations, however you want to do it. And then you can access that. And then you can switch into a new mode as you deem fit. A zone can also contain assignments that are always active regardless of the active mode. These are known as modeless assignments. All right, so we also have these modeless assignments that are always on. The simultaneous use of modal and modeless assignments allows you to do such things as, okay, here we go. This is where it's going to count, okay? Define a zone that switches between 2 modes or functions by pressing and releasing a control surface modifier button, be shift or option, while using a particular function button on the control surface. So you can really customize this. Define a zone that allows you to use modeless assignments for display updates, transport functions, save or undo operations. The same zone could contain a modal assignment for all volume and pan controls. Switching to another mode could provide access to EQ parameters. In both modal situations, the display, transport, and save or undo functions are available. A mode can contain any number of assignments. Only the assignments for the active mode are processed. Assignments of inactive modes are ignored. You can switch the active mode for a zone by making special assignments. Zones and modes can be defined across multiple control surfaces to support the use of control surface groups. This illustration is going to show you one possible hierarchical arrangement of zones and modes. So you would have zone 1 with modeless assignments that are always active. Then you have mode 1, which is currently inactive. And then even if you're using mode 2, the modeless assignments are still on. Okay. And that's how that would work. All right. So how do we actually define a zone? So inside of expert view, we're going to click and add a button in the lower left corner of the zone. And if we want to, we can rename that. So let's just try this out for kicks. Why not? We're going to call this test. Okay. So we're inside a test. Now we're going to define a mode. Why don't I call this mixer? Oh, we click here, type in mixer. All right, so now zone is test, mode is mixer test. And looks like we're going to add that, enter a name, controller assignments, control name, and label fields in Logic Pro. Okay, let's keep going. Control name. Okay, I don't see label. Is that, why not? Maybe because I have to add a control. They didn't say to add a control yet. Is that right? Okay, so that's confusing because they didn't say anything else, and now they're going into some more language. Let's see what they say here. This goes back to everything that we've seen before. I'm gonna assume that they want me to hit something here, and I don't know. Let's just pretend that we're gonna change some plugin parameter. I'll just say plugin. Okay, good. And then let's say I click on the auto filter per se, and let's say I want to control the fatness with the first slider. So I'll hit learn mode. Okay, let's get out of learn mode. Now bear in mind, I'm currently inside of test zone. The mode is mixer test. And now I've learned this specific message. Now, what if I go into another zone? Is it still going to control what I'm doing? Well, it seems to know that it's still there, irregardless if I'm in focus of that specific zone or not. It's still happening in the background. So let's try and see how we can actually switch. Is this something where I hit something on the hardware controller? So for example, right now, I'm going to hit the user tab on my templates for the Launch Control XL. And when I hit that, you can see I'm no longer controlling that specific parameter. It's not until I go back into factory, the recorded parameter is still inside here, and now I can go back to controlling. So for me, so far as I can tell, I have two workspaces, user and factory. There may be more pages. I don't know. I'm still learning this specific tool, and that's okay. Wherever you are in this process, right? It doesn't have to be a certain way. Just keep moving up. Just keep acquiring new ideas, new approaches, and new skill sets. Because I thought originally, to be honest, that I was going to switch zones somehow, and the message would not be recognized, but it doesn't seem to work that way. You have to change pages, if you will, inside of your controller, and then the signal will no longer be recognized. So all the parameters they were referring to, they're all here. We talked about a lot of this earlier. Okay, so all of this, as expected, is doing what it needs to do. The if there's anything else, flip, group, and exclusive parameters. Okay, there's a checkbox in the controller assignment parameters window. Do you guys see local feedback? I certainly don't see what they're referring to. If you can give me some more info. I don't know if this has to do with the fact that I have channel strip selected, but I would assume that if I change that, yeah, there you go, parameter, flip mode. So, still working on kind of understanding all of those details. And what else can I control, right? I understand I can control a parameter, but what other kinds of things can I control? Well, based on this list, it says global. There are key commands that I can use, automation groups. So yeah, it would be really, really lovely to be able to really get, my hands on this and understand how to kind of swap back and forth. Now, for the most part, to be honest, as long as you can slide, turn, or press, you should be okay. But I know there's a lot there, and it would be rad. It would make a difference. So this looks very much similar to what we just saw. Talking about class. Funny how they repeat this. Okay, let's go to mode. It says here, choose to use an assignment to switch from one mode to another. So it allows you to choose between available modes. So you could have a Mackie, uses different modes for the encoders. Mode chosen in the mode pop-up menu is activated only when the mode menu is set to direct. Yeah, we need some direct examples. As mentioned to many of you that have been following and are finishing this series with me, I salute you. Bear in mind that one of my goals now is to make content on a lot of these subjects, do my research, have my mentoring sessions with my various mentors, and to give you the world's best information on Logic Pro today, without question. We do believe that the resources we have are absolutely next level and that they essentially will change your user experience. How you feel about the program when you sit and you use it, right? I know it's going to make a difference. I know you're going to feel better about it. I know you're going to talk to people and have more confidence. You're going to have more command over the program, right? And isn't it going to feel great when you know how to do everything and anything that you need to do? Right? That's not to say that you know everything about the program, but you know what you need to know. You have the tools at your disposal, right? Any session, any project, you're always ready to go. That's what we're talking about here. It's really good. Let's see. If you want to execute your key command, select the key repeat from the bottom of the controller assignment window. Key repeat. Yeah, so I really would love to see this updated. I personally don't feel it's doing it justice. At least it's not doing it justice for a beginner and somebody that does not have experience in this world. I don't know if this technology has been around for a long time, but that's what it seems like to me. Where they're under the assumption that you already have a working knowledge on automation groups and CS group settings by bank. It's like that. Those words can mean nothing to a creative, somebody that just bought a laptop last week. Input messages parameters. So we've talked about that. If you want to create default assignments for new control surfaces, this is a good way to go. New assignments can be moved to other computers by copying and pasting your preference file. We talked about that before. And then you can then open those controller assignment windows in expert view on other computers and change the MIDI input parameter of one assignment. So lots here, my good friends. I really do hope that we'll make more time for this, and then we have the right information. I think it's absolutely necessary that there shouldn't be any part of the program that's just glossed over simply because there's an assumption that people already know what this is. As mentioned earlier, I believe this has to do with the iPad. Let me see if I was right about that, or with the OS in general. Parameter in this section lets you edit paths used to communicate with OSC devices. The OSC protocol allows for real-time communication between software and hardware, or when using USB or other serial interfaces. There's an exception. Boom. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's keep going. Here are all the value parameters, which it feels like we already talked about this. Let's see anything else? Sign magnitude if the most significant bit is set. Yep. A lot of... Okay. For mode pop-up menu, this actually may help and may help instantly. So let's read. Direct is going to be the incoming value is used as a parameter value. For toggle, if the parameter's current value is 0, it is set to the incoming value. All other values set to parameter value will go to 0. This option is useful for buttons that toggle a value such as mute or solo. So toggle is going to be the way to go for some of these. Scale, the incoming value is scaled from its value range to the destination parameter's value range. Useful for faders. So any kind of rotary encoder, any kind of fader, you're going to want to use that scaled mode inside of the pop-up menu. What is relative? The incoming value is added to the parameter's current value. This is commonly used for encoders, but it's also useful for buttons that increment or decrement by a certain amount, specified by the multiply parameter. Okay, so now there's something going on with that multiply parameter. There's a relationship there that's happening. For on and off parameters, you're going to want to set that off to default, set to scaled for absolute controls, or to relative for encoders. There's a feedback pop-up menu as well, depending on if you have an LCD screen on your system. The key repeat checkbox, only available for key commands. Key repeat. I don't see. Oh, it's down here. So, okay, what's interesting is like, why would that be disabled? What's the deal? Do they give me information here? Duration of the button must be held before the assignment is repeated. Nothing on why it's dimmed. I don't know if it's because of the controller I have, but if you want to assign controller buttons to key commands, let's find out how we do that. Inside of the key command window, option K, let's say we want to record toggle with the press of a button. We would learn new assignment. This is not a key label. This is not key position, which from what I remember, utilizes the extended keyboard. This is learn new assignment, which takes the control surface and records the message. So this is a note on and off message, and I'm utilizing record toggle. All right, pretty great. You want to assign a button or key release message to a key command. Reveal the command for a category. Hold down the control surface button. Click the learn new assignment button. So wait, what's the difference between this and what we just did? Click the new assignment button. Assign a control surface button to a key command. Assign a button to a key command. If you see the difference here, please let me know. This seems to be the exact same thing as far as the steps go. For example, they want you to go to the key command windows, number 1. Then you select the appropriate list. Number 3 is click the learn new assignment button. For this one, it's hold down the control surface button or key that you want to assign. Okay, so the only difference here is that you're actually holding the parameter first, whereas here you don't do that. Release the button. Click the close button to exit the window. Yeah, you guys got to help me out with that one. Didn't really make a difference whatsoever. Here, let me just go through it one more time. So the top one here, we're going to find the necessary key command, click learn new assignment, press the control surface button that you want to assign, and then repeat steps 2 through 4 to make additional assignments if need be. Whereas this one sounds pretty much the same. This sends a message. Click the learn new assignment button. Release the button or key. Yeah, so it's just, honestly, the only difference is if you just want to make additional assignments, just repeat steps 2 through 4. Otherwise, you are home free. And it looks like we are home free as well. There's an extensive glossary here, which you can check out on your own time. I do want to recommend before we shut down that you go through all the various key commands in the program. I forgot where we were, but there was a chapter on key commands, and they went through every single one of them. I don't think that's a bad idea. In fact, I think I'll make a video on this pretty soon. But just to sum up the program, been such a humbling experience to go over the main window, the overview, patches, drummer, all the various track types inside of Logic Pro, the workflow, the single window interface, all the various tools in Logic Pro, connecting external devices, understanding projects and tracks, recording yourself using loops and other media files, including movie files to compose to film, arranging, editing audio regions in the audio track editor. If I could be completely transparent, this series has shown me the importance of the audio track editor in a way that wouldn't have been clear to me had I not spent the last 5 months working with you, editing MIDI regions. I learned so much about the default MIDI and audio regions, and also the Cell Inspector has its own MIDI cell defaults as well. Learned a lot about flex time and how it behaves, and how it's very imperative to select the appropriate mode inside of the flex algorithm. And I never put like that much emphasis on it because I never spent that much time with it. The event list editor, I have a newfound respect for the event list editor, and the step editor. I'm very curious to be able to somehow implement it and use it in my workflow. I think it's a very just beautiful part of the program that's just, if not avoided, just not implemented enough. MIDI transform is great as always. Deepened my understanding with that. Just honestly gained a whole new respect for the entire program as a whole. And this will not be the last time that I read this manual. I will come back to it time and time again. We worked on smart control layouts, customizing our own layouts, using the arpeggiator. Probably the best chapter, my favorite at least, was live loops inside of this series, because I just believe there's nobody else anywhere ever on the internet that's covering it the way that we are. It really was an outstanding chapter, so check that out. The step sequencer is absolutely profound and is definitely here to stay. Global project settings was great. The music notation score editor was something that I did just by point of pride, to let people know that, hey, it doesn't matter if you know something or not. Just do your best. That's the most important part. You know, it's not about everything that you know. It's about just taking it one step further. We talked about sharing. Surround, this is something that we skip simply because I don't use surround, so it wouldn't make sense for me to cover it. Working in the environment, this was also very enlightening to understand the background and what's happening underneath the hood. So yeah, kudos to the developers and what they've done to this amazing program. We went through video synchronization, all the preferences, project settings. I even put together a touch bar session here. And then we finished off strong with control surfaces and hardware controllers. So speaking of finishing strong, I want to tell you about a quote that I heard once. I'm not sure, I don't remember where I picked it up, but it's an old, I think, Asian maxim, and it goes something like, you're not 50% done until you're 90% done. And so the way that I approached this user guide for the last couple of months was, I'm going to be consistent no matter what, regardless if I feel like doing it or not. This is a contribution to my fellow creatives, to all of my Logic Pro power users out there. And I hope this is not the last time that we meet. No matter what you're up to, no matter what you're doing, you want to make sure that you apply yourself all the way. And you want to make sure that you're not ever done until you're 90% done. You're not ever done. You have to keep going all the way. Don't feel like you've finished until you are almost at the finish line. And even then, you push harder and you get to where it is you want to get to. It is Saturday today. I actually recorded the previous live earlier today, and I did a bunch of things, but I have so much momentum that I needed to attack it now. I needed to attack it today. I'm going to close out by saying that we have the 10 free courses coming out in the next week, in the next 2 weeks. I need you to be prepared. This education is going to really help you understand the program on a whole new level. We have diagrams, we have exercises that were created specifically for you. If you're interested in that series, we are currently holding pre-registration. This is your time to learn the program and learn it well, and learn it from the best in the game today, Logic Sensei Eddie Gray. If you want to be a part of this, email support@hfmusicacademy.com. It's that simple, no strings attached. 10 free courses, a Logic Pro bootcamp of sorts. I will see you there. I'm going to sign off. I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be here. This has been a true pleasure to take it from January 2nd to May 2nd. Thank you for the opportunity to serve, and to serve at the highest level. Resources for the Modern Creative is still around. We're still going to do our thing, so go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share this content. I know I've been telling you time and time again, but really it's the only way that we can build the channel. And so if you have felt the love from Eddie Gray, if you have felt the love from Resources for the Modern Creative, the channel, then all I ask is that you just send this off. One person, 2 people, go ahead and share this on social media, and just thank you. That's how I'm going to sign off here. I want to say thank you. Stay up, stay happy, focus on your goals. This program changed my life. I've been able to compose for big television shows, have big contracts. This program gave me a second chance at life. I really hope that it gives you what you need. Thank you so very much. And on behalf of all of my team over at hfmusicacademy.com, we bid you farewell. Thank you very much. Cheers. Oh yeah, and for old time's sake, let's go! Take care, y'all.